Everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto. Today we're looking at an $8,676 Bitcoin, and I'd like to talk about a lot of different news items, so it's going to be a pretty packed video. XRP records 322% growth in active addresses over the week. This is very interesting, and I think that it'll be an interesting thing to discuss. Of course, we're going to be segueing into a discussion about Cardano, and in a larger context, I definitely like to talk about Bitcoin in terms of where we could actually see digital assets coming from this point moving forward. And I have an article that's pretty relevant. Cardano co-founder meets former, of course, comments to National Blockchain program. So Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, was at the World Economic Forum in Davos yesterday, meeting high-profile officials. One of them, of course, the former Prime Minister of Georgia, who was, who has been very curious about blockchain technology and the potential. This tweet by Charles Hoskinson: "I was glad to have dinner recently with former Prime Minister to discuss the project and its future. Georgia is one of the best run and most innovative countries in the world, and there are embracing the future faster than any I've ever seen." And of course, on the sidelines, participated in the Blockchain Economic Forum. Interesting convo on the growing role of blockchain. And I'm thinking to myself, and I think that it was interesting to start off with this sort of tweet. When we want to talk about the future of blockchain, we want to look into exactly what cryptocurrency is going to mean in the long term, and even outside of the role that Bitcoin itself is going to play. I think that looking at something like Cardano with smart contracts and the like is certainly a very interesting conversation to bring to the forefront. And I know a lot of people have criticized XRP in the past, but I have this video right here that I want to bring up. I think that it's always interesting to look at different perspectives, but I mean, this is from the news, so I'm also going to highlight one of the greatest life hacks is to stop watching the news. You'll be happier and much more productive. Great tweet from El Pompliano. If you're not following him on Twitter, you probably are sleeping because he's one of the better crypto voices out there at the current time. So without any further ado, we're going to watch this video right here, and then we'll get back into my analysis. So let's get into it.
CEO Brett Gullinghouse, he joins us right now. And David, some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brett? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find...
Ripple CEO Brett Gullinghouse.
So, I mean, it is an interesting perspective, if we want to talk about Bitcoin in that way. Now, I wouldn't necessarily be so dramatic about the future of Bitcoin. I think that even at 8K, 10K, 20K, I mean, what they're talking about in that instance, it does fit a model of Bitcoin that's worth even $1 million. I mean, the fact of the matter is it's so early in the space that really nobody knows their ass from their elbow about what the future of these assets, digital assets, is really going to entail. Now, all that being said, it will be interesting to see. Of course, top crypto analyst lays this case for 100% Cardano. Price surge. This is interesting in the conversation, relevant to the title. The theory. I mean, I've been right in the past, I've been wrong in the past, but I always think that it's interesting to look at projects that are ahead of the game in terms of what the team could actually accomplish and the philosophies and all these different things. And Cardano really is one of those cryptos that's proven itself time and time again with an actual grasp on what the real way that these digital assets can be leveraged in a way that's very interesting. So near the top of the Bitcoin bull market in 2018, Cardano was dominating everything. And aside from a few select altcoins, Ethereum, XRP, BCH, ADA was the top of the market, rallying on a seemingly strong team and promise of Cardano becoming the next leading blockchain that could service everything and everyone. But since then, the cryptocurrency has seen quite the fall from grace. Per TradeView data seen below, the cryptocurrency has collapsed by 96.74% against the US dollar since its all-time high, well above $1. Against Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency has collapsed too, dropping by dozens of percent against the leading digital asset. Despite this, the top analysts recently lay out a case for a massive explosion in the price of ADA against Bitcoin. Related reading, of course. Firstly, the trading pair has seen nearly 6 months of accumulation in a recently tight range, with ADA failing to break below key support levels, but also falling to more above resistance. The strong accumulation pattern near the lows could suggest a rebound is forming. Secondly, lastly, ADA should makes the end-to-end cloud move, and the pair moves above key resistances. So sure, you can go and check out this news BTC. I'm not going to just reiterate on the article itself. However, it is interesting to see another real interesting, Bitcoin risk and return, negative 74 and 206% is off the chart. Looking at 50-year price data bounds, gold and stocks are at the same risk and return line, consistent with EMH and CAPM, and of course, but Bitcoin is far above that line. Just an interesting snippet of info right there. Very interesting. I would concur. It will be quite interesting just to watch how we see the cryptos like Cardano, and how they'll stand to revolutionize a lot of the different components and aspects of ways that people conduct their daily lives, and of course just how blockchain is able to, and of course how this is relevant to XRP. Pretty much does go without saying. It will be interesting to see how major decisions that are being made, by just big banks, and of course big money invests and throws their weight around in certain directions. It's going to have as much as people like to shit on Libra, and of course, as much as it was sort of a meme of its time, it does go without saying that it is important not to overlook these things. Fidelity is reported looking for a Bitcoin mining engineer whose main responsibility would be to help to boost its operations profile. The person chosen for the role would be expected to help build, design, and of course maintain the infrastructure of that Fidelity utilizes Bitcoin mining. So it will be interesting just to see how we watch a lot of the different developments, and of course Bitcoin won't drop below 7K. I'm not entirely convinced. Of course we have other more bullish articles. 75K Bitcoin price is set to climb exponentially if this fractal plays out. This article, I'm not really going to devote too much time to it, but it does sort of speak along those same bullish lines, which I do find quite interesting. Top performers of the day, of course, we've got Golem 23.89. Very interesting indeed. And of course, from where it was, in previous years, still in the red for many older hodlers. Regardless, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, I am not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm only here making these videos for entertainment, educational purposes only. Make sure you guys go and follow Pomp and other content creators, for your daily cryptocurrency in the know sort of information. And regardless, remember, don't watch the news, do your own research. And I hope you guys have enjoyed my little spiel here. And regardless, hope you guys have enjoyed the day. It's a beautiful beginning of the 2020 still. We're still got the whole year ahead of us. So hope you guys have enjoyed this content. And that's it for me. Have a good one.